Something is off with the Wicked press tour, and you're not imagining it.
We've never been asked that question.
That's incredible.
That's a great question to ask.
1 minute, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are doing normal promo, and the next minute, it feels like you're watching a strange emotional bubble where they're constantly touching, crying, and speaking in this ultra-soft, we live in a fairy world tone.
If you had to describe each other's aura, what color would it be?
That's a nice question. An aura.
Yellow.
For me?
Sunshine. Yeah.
Ah.
So what happened? Is it PR? Is it stress? Is it role bleed? And why do people keep calling it creepy? Let's start with the obvious. Wicked is not a typical project. It's not one movie, one tour, done. It's a massive, long-running franchise with huge expectations, intense fan pressure, and non-stop scrutiny. When you put two lead actresses at the center of that storm, the promo isn't just marketing. It becomes a performance on top of a performance. Now look at Ariana and Cynthia specifically. Viewers say they seemed more grounded before Wicked started. Then, suddenly, during interviews and red carpets, they look emotionally heightened together. They hold hands, they lean into each other, they whisper and tear up sometimes. They talk like they're describing each other's aura.
Like a ciel bleu, you know, like
Thank
aqua.
you. Wow,
And
I'm
like,
so moved by that response.
so specific.
This
isn't
is
it?
so-
Sorry, it's very specific. And like sunset orange.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If any interviewer asks a simple question, they sometimes react as if it opened a wound.
Hey, gorgeous in the
Thank
nails.
you. Aren't
Love
these
it.
incredible?
They are incredible.
These are one of my favorite sets of the whole tour so
They're
far.
beautiful.
So what's going on? One explanation is something people in acting call role spillover. That's when a role doesn't fully shut off after filming. It's not they're cursed or they're insane. It's more like your brain gets used to living in the emotional frequency of a character, especially if you've spent months rehearsing, singing, and acting from that place. If your job is to be Glinda or Elphaba and the project becomes your whole world, you don't always snap back instantly when the cameras stop. And Wicked is a special case because the story itself is emotional, intense, and built around identity, rejection, belonging, friendship, and feeling like the world misunderstands you. That is already the exact emotional recipe that makes co-stars bond hard. Next comes the promo strategy. Studios love selling the bond. It's a marketing dream. Two leads, best friends, soul connection, we changed each other's lives. That becomes the brand, and once that brand goes viral, you're not just acting in the movie anymore. You're acting in the Wicked era. Here's where things start looking creepy to people watching.
You are very good.
Oh my gosh.
It's not the friendship by itself, it's the pattern. The closeness feels constant, and sometimes it feels staged, like it has to be proven every 5 minutes. Viewers pick up on the repeated physical reassurance, the hand-holding, the arm-touching, the "I'm right here" energy. And for some audiences, that reads less like relaxed friendship and more like emotional dependency. There's also another dynamic that makes people uncomfortable: mutual fragility. If two people keep reinforcing, "We are delicate, we are overwhelmed, we are emotional, we are healing," it can turn into a loop where vulnerability becomes the main way the relationship stays intense. The problem is when vulnerability becomes a performance requirement, like the bond only feels real if there are tears. That's why the crying moments stand out. People aren't saying, "Never cry." People are saying, "Why does it feel like every moment becomes a cry moment?"
Truthfully, we're a bunch of crybabies over here.
When that happens repeatedly, audiences start wondering if it's emotional truth, emotional exhaustion, or a habit that keeps the connection feeling dramatic and special. Now, let's talk about the baby voice and the tone shift people notice, especially with Ariana.
Thank
Thank you for coming.
Oh, of course. And I always hope I do junkets every day. Sometimes you just go, hey, that's a movie. that got made. There was a beginning.
There was a beginning.
There was a middle in there somewhere.
That is hilarious.
It's true.
There was a beginning.
Ariana has had multiple public eras over the years. Different styling, different sound, different vibe. That's not a crime. Pop stars do that. But with Wicked, she's playing a character with a particular energy. Bright, delicate, polished, theatrical. If you spend long enough living in that, your speech patterns can drift. Then the interviews where you're trying to stay on brand, and suddenly the public starts feeling like they're not hearing Ariana, they're hearing Glinda. The pressure of being watched is another point. Ariana has spoken before about how people comment on bodies and appearances as if it's normal. And whether you agree with her or not, she's right about the culture. People feel weirdly entitled to analyze everything. That kind of constant scrutiny can make a person more controlled, more careful, more performed in public. When you know every clip will be cut, memed and judged, you don't relax, you manage. Then there's Cynthia's energy in interviews, which some viewers interpret as protective, intense, or even territorial. I want to be careful here because people read body language like it's a courtroom verdict, and it isn't. But it's fair to say, Cynthia often presents as deeply emotionally invested in Ariana during these moments. That can be love, friendship, protectiveness, or simply a shared PR rhythm. But when it looks constant, it becomes noticeable. And the biggest reason it becomes creepy is simple. Audiences don't like feeling manipulated. If viewers think they're watching a genuine connection, they're fine with it. If they suspect they're watching a manufactured intimacy designed for promo, they get uncomfortable fast. So the question becomes, is this real closeness, or closeness trained by the demands of the campaign? Let's ask you, do Ariana and Cynthia feel genuinely close to you, or does it feel like a press tour act that got out of control? If you're still watching, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of pop culture psychology that gets people arguing in the comments for days. Let's get back to the story. Now, let's zoom out even more. There's a history in Hollywood of casts getting wrapped up in the world of a project. When a movie becomes a lifestyle, training, rehearsals, vocal work, long shoots, endless press, your nervous system starts treating it like your permanent reality. When you finally step into interviews, you're not stepping out of that world, you're extending it. That's why some people describe the whole cast as looking off during promo. It's not because of magic, not because of a curse, but because the environment is intense. Lack of rest, constant travel, constant cameras, and the pressure to be perfect can make anyone look emotionally thin. And another factor people ignore is how fame changes relationships. Normal friendships have privacy. Famous friendships have an audience. Once the audience starts shipping it, analyzing it, and turning it into content, the friendship becomes a public object. That can make the bond weirdly performative even if it started real, because suddenly you're managing reactions to your connection rather than just living it. That's also why it might look different when Ariana appears alone. Once she's alone, she can be Ariana in an interview. When she's beside Cynthia, the brand becomes Ariana and Cynthia from Wicked, and the tone shifts. Isn't it creepy? These two didn't just do the besties forever routine on camera either. They went all the way and got 4 matching tattoos tied to Wicked and to each other. The most obvious one is "for good" written on their palms, so the words literally touch when they hold hands, which is, yeah, that's a lot. Then they've got poppy flowers on their hands for the Fields of Oz, and hearts on the backs of their legs with the letters E and G. Ariana has an E and Cynthia has a G, which people say is for their last names. But the bigger point is, when someone turns a co-star bond into matching ink in multiple places, that's not casual friendship energy. That's a public "we're intertwined" statement. It can feel creepy if it looks like they've entered a bubble where they're constantly mirroring each other, constantly agreeing, constantly reaffirming, constantly performing softness. Because that doesn't look like an everyday connection, it looks like a shared script. The real question is, did the wicked machine turn a real connection into a constant performance? Because that's what people react to, the feeling that the emotions never get a quiet moment. But what do you think? Is this just intense friendship under pressure, or is it a role spillover plus PR turning into something awkward to watch? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because honestly, this story is not over yet. Until next time.